up? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lamar Realtor Anderson of the world famous African United DJs, and you all have it on another episode of Think About It,
Black people.
That's right. Think About It, Black people. This is a platform that we put together because we saw a need in our community of a variety of different topics that we wanted to talk about. And so what I did, I assembled a great team of people. I'm surrounded today by queens. I'll put that out there. My man Rudd is not here, but let me go ahead and introduce my team, and we'll get into this topic. All right. First up, let's go to the Queen E. E, say what's up to the people.
Hey, what's up? It's nothing like having 3 queens on the board. You know, a king, they say we're the most dangerous piece, so you surrounded, and we glad to have you here, King.
I protect my queen. I protect my queen.
Okay. That's right, and we know that about you.
All right, straight up over there to my girl, Shell. What's up, Shell?
What's going on, guys? Glad to be back again. We got another special guest for you, so get ready.
Yes. Oh, and our special guest, my boy, like I said, my boy Rudd is not here. Let me make sure we acknowledge him. My man Rudd is not here. Other thing I want to make sure we acknowledge is that elections are still coming up. I want to make sure you guys out there registered, you're voting, you're registered, you're voting. Early voting still is happening. So if you can get that taken care of, get that taken care of. The last day to vote is November 3rd. You don't have to wait till the last day, y'all. You can handle this like right now.
Lamar, you know, I have to come in with, and your congressmen, your senators, your judges are as critical, if not more critical than the president. Yes, they are the ones who set the laws. So we need to vote out the bad ones.
I agree. All right. Now, with all of that being said, it's time for us to get a nice little drum roll because we have a very, very special guest in the building. I've had the opportunity of interviewing this lady on 90.7 FM. I followed her for a lot of things that she does. And when I say a lot of things that she does, she's wearing many hats, hailing all the way from Flint, Michigan. None other than Miss Sophia Janell Taylor. Let's give it up, y'all.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
See, now they don't understand why I gave you that intro, Sophia, because like you wear a lot of hats. So like, if you don't mind, let's give these people a little insight of like all the different things that you're doing, and then we'll compact it and get into some conversations about some other things. But let's talk about, give them a little bit of background about who you are, some little history.
Okay, all right. Again, thank you for that introduction, and thank you all for having me. This is a blessing, and thank you for always supporting everything that I do also. I don't take that for granted, really. So like you said, my name is Sophia Janell Taylor, and I was born and raised right in Flint, Michigan. Went away, moved away. I lived in LA for years. I lived in Georgia, in Texas. I've even lived in Illinois for a while, but I returned back to Flint, Michigan about 10 years ago. I started a television show called Rehabbing the Hood because even in all of the years that I lived in other cities and states, I had property in Flint, Michigan. So I started investing in property. Like when I moved back home from LA, I bought my first house when I was like 22 years old. And it was because of my mother. My mother kind of nudged me and was like, Sophia, you need to buy that house across the street, you know, and I wasn't thinking about doing anything like that. So I bought the house, and that was that. Lived in the house for years. Then I wound up going on tour because I act as well. I act and I sing. So I wound up going on tour, realizing I'm never even home. So I got this bright idea to turn my house into an apartment.
Nice.
And so I turned that house into an apartment, and then I rented the downstairs out. So the downstairs people were pretty much paying my mortgage, and I went on tour.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. So sometimes I like to call myself, like, I used to call myself the mistaken real estate investor because it was never a plan for me.
Okay.
So I went on tour. They were paying my mortgage, and my mother passed away. And so then I rented out the top half, and I refinanced my house. I didn't know anything about refinancing or anything. When they told me about it, they were like, "You got money in your house." And I'm thinking, is it in the basement? Where's it at? I didn't get it.
Yes.
No, I swear I didn't understand it, you know, because I wasn't raised. I didn't, you know, my parents didn't teach me about real estate.
Don't talk about that in the Black community. That's white parents teach their kids about investing, We do not talk about that. That's a big.
And I guess you can only teach what you know. You can only teach what you know.
It's
you know?
true.
Yeah. So I moved back across the street with my father. Then I rented that house out. I pulled some money out, rented that house out. I just thought I'm losing my mind. I got to go back to California because my mother had passed and I was, in depression.
Yes.
And so instead of taking that money and moving back to California, I ran into a bankruptcy auction. And I went to the bankruptcy auction with a friend, actually. And they were getting rid of all of these houses on this one particular street. And I had just got my refinance check. And so before I knew it, my hand went up and I picked up another house.
Wow.
And so I grabbed that house, fixed that house, and that's when I moved back to LA. And so I moved back to LA. I wound up touring. I went on tour, R. Kelly and some other people. And I'm okay though. I'm okay. I just want y'all to know.
I'm glad you are. Yes. You've been okay. You have a different age, so I'm sorry.
You're right. Was not checking for me.
I'm sorry.
Right, exactly.
Wasn't checking for me, baby. Wasn't checking for me.
Too soon. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yep. Went on tour and that was all well. But the money that I made while out of town, it wound up being a Jones for me because every piece of money I made, I would always come back to Flint, Michigan and pick up a property and pick up a property.
Look at that.
Yes, until the market crashed.
Yes.
Everything was like kaboom. And I wound up losing a lot of things. And I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was living in Georgia at the time. I had just bought like a brand new condo. I was ballerific out there.
Yeah.
So I just bought a brand new condo. The market crashed. I lost a lot of things. I moved back home. Didn't know what I was gonna do. And I still had a few properties left. I was renting a house out. I talked to a girl. I started explaining things to her about purchasing properties. Like, why are you renting? It's Flint, Michigan. Rent is cheap here. You need to be purchasing. She was like, you need to teach. I hadn't thought about it because she was like, nobody ever talks to me this way, And so that's when I decided to do a television show called Rehabbing the Hood, where I teach people.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all about investing in the gems that are in your backyard.
That's
There's
right.
always somebody somewhere else in another city or state coming to your neighborhood, picking things up. We ride by these things and we don't even realize what we're sitting next to or behind or in front of. So I done a television show called Rehabbing the Hood, and it just kind of highlighted my life as I go through with my realtor. I'm picking up properties and I'm assessing the situation. I'm assessing the roof and the foundation. And, then it would show me and my team going in there, tearing things down and putting things back together again. So, created the television.
Popular before it became reality TV shows.
Really, actually, yes. And so then the show, there were some people that I was in communication with. They were talking about picking it up and putting it on HGTV because, again, it's called Rehabbing the Hood. And so when you see television shows on HGTV, you could tell that these people's budget is pretty good. Well, we're going to redo this bathroom. Our budget is $85,000 and it's like, that's not our budget.
Right.
So that's the niche. That was the niche for me. And so created the television show. And then I don't know if you guys have ever heard of TEDx.
Yes.
Yep. So then I was approached by TEDx and I actually done a TEDx, which was such an honor. I didn't even know what it was. And so I done a TEDx just kind of talking about investing in your own community and all of that good stuff. So, so since I've been back home for about 10 years now, I've written 4 books, created a couple of television shows, released a CD, created some mentoring programs. And I just pray that my life inspires.
And see, y'all thought I was joking in her intro when I said she wearing many hats. I was not playing. Like, Gifts
it's
have been
beautiful
given,
to see it.
and people are working within their gifts. People, I'm telling you, gifts
That's
have been
exactly
given,
it.
working with
That's
them.
It's
exactly it.
beautiful to see a Black woman out there doing it and then giving back to other Blacks and teaching them how to do it too. Because so many times we get up and people get that pot of crabs, we forget about each other, but we're not too heavy. If we all help each other, the whole community rises. And there's an old African proverb, and even the studies in corporate America, whenever you go into a Black community or any community, it doesn't matter what nationality, if you raise up the women, they raise the whole community.
You're darn right.
If you raise up the men will sometimes suppress the women and the children, not always, but sometimes. But it's a guarantee, if you raise up the women, they raise up everybody. So that's a beautiful thing. So you are definitely a true queen.
And another African proverb is Sankofa. You know, you look back so that I know, bruh, Sankofa, you look back from where you came from so you can go forward. And in doing that, we should be lifting and esteeming one another in our communities. And another thing, Sophia, so it sounds like all of these things are just God-given gifts and talents that you ride the wave on. But did you go and obtain any education and, you know, as you went along, even, you know, with real estate and things of that nature?
I did, well, with real estate, I am not a realtor. I'm an investor. But I'm more than likely gonna wind up being a realtor at some point, just so I can get my hands on that list before everybody else does.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
I guess another question, you had money when you started, but say someone is just looking to get started. Since you do that on your TV show, what tips would you give someone on how to get started doing that?
So that's the blessing, and the lesson about it all is a lot of times we won't move forward because of things that we think. That's not necessarily so. I didn't have money. I didn't come from a family that had money. I came from a supportive family, but we didn't have a lot of money. So luckily my mind was open enough. That first house, and it was by the nudging of my mother when I came home from college, they were redoing a house across the street from my parents. And my mother said, Sophia, you should buy that house. And I'm looking like, one, I don't want to live across the street from my parents. and two, I don't have the money. But as the people were working on it, my mother and I walked across the street, and I saw that they were tearing everything down and making everything brand new. And I inquired, and they said, go downtown. So when I went downtown and started talking to the woman, and when she told me what the qualifications were, I'm like, get out of here. But mentally, I'm thinking,
that's right.
Yes. So that'll stop us from doing things that we may be interested in. So sometimes you just have to be open enough to inquire, and it may blow your mind when you realize, oh, I don't have to have money.
And I think the other thing is we get so caught up in the fact that they say that Blacks can't do it, but we can do it. And we got to stop believing all the negativity and the hype. Michelle and I were talking about yesterday, you feed yourself with, well, history says, but we don't care what history says. What does God say? God says that he can prosper us and that he has a plan for us. And so I just love your story. Do you as far as retirement, is your retirement plan your houses, or do you invest in 401s or IRAs?
I do invest. I try to put some things to the side, but because I wear so many different hats, I have so many different streams of income.
Come on.
Yeah, you know, and that's the kind of world that we're living in right now. One is not good enough. You better have some different streams of income. And that's also where sometimes your circle matters. Like what we're doing right now, you may have an idea that I hadn't thought of that may take us to the other level, and he may have an idea, and we pull our things together, and we keep bringing other people, you know, up under us.
So that brings me to my next question. You were talking about all these different streams of income, and we were talking a little bit earlier about all the different things that you're involved in. Let's talk about, you know, your writing. You know, self-published 4 books.
Yes.
You can go ahead and we name drop around here, so you can tell them the name of the book, where they can get it from, all of the above. We're about promotion around here. Just want to let you know.
Want to know, baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you know, you can tell us what those are.
What a blessing. God has just blessed me with so many gifts. So many gifts. I can't take the credit for any of them.
Yes.
But so my first book, I wrote a book. Writing calms me because I do so many things. For some reason, it's that writing that kind of gives me my woosah. So oftentimes when I would be somewhere fooling with a house or two or doing whatever, running around doing what I do, when I come home late at night, I'm deadbeat tired, but I would jump on my computer and I would write. And I don't know when I started doing it, but I would write. And so I began writing a story, and I had a couple of friends that I would call and read to, and it got to the point where they started calling me every day saying, did you write more? Did you write more? Like, I want more book. I want more book. I had a friend that would like walk. She would walk in the mornings and call me and say, hey, I need you to read. Did you write some more? And so I didn't think that, I'm just playing around with a story. I never really thought that I was going to actually write a book. And so 1 chapter turned into 4, and 4 turned into 10, and 10 turned into 15.
Yeah.
And before I know it, I found myself, I couldn't wait to come home at night just to see what I had written the night before. So I looked up and I had a book. And so now it's like a ritual. For every book that I finish, I make sure that it's mailed to my father's house.
Oh, okay.
And so I go to my dad's house. I'll call him and I'm like, Dad, do I have a package? Do I have a package? He's like, you got a package. So I go over his house and we'll open up the package and I'll look at the book and we both look at each other like, oh my gosh. So the first book, y'all, it's a hot mess, I must say. It's called Faithful Liar. So because I'm an extra individual, I'm extra, y'all. I'm talking mustard, ketchup, mayonnaise, and hot sauce.
All the condiments.
I'm so extra. It just, I make my own self sick. I'm so extra. So not only did I decide or realize, oh my gosh, I'm writing a book. But then when I realized I was writing a book, I was like, I might as well write a 3-part oxymoron series. I said I'm extra.
I love
it. So the oxymoron series, the first book is called Faithful Liar. And the second book is called Honest Deception.
Definitely oxymorons.
Yes. Yep. And the third book is called Ruthless Saint. Yes, I'm just so grateful to be the vessel of so much foolishness. So you see, I didn't pick up Ruthless Saint. It's because in my extraness, I jumped from Ruthless Saint because I had something on my spirit and I had to get it off. And so in between my third book, because I didn't finish the third book, I jumped over to an inspirational book called Falling Into Your Purpose.
Yes. I love it. And with that being said, I took time and watched your little short video you had. And so I was like, oh no, she finna come in and shoot him. But that's not what took place in the video. So I want to really commend you on that. It was a short video, but it was like a thriller for a minute there.
Yes.
Yes, a lot of people are like, you can't be giving the secrets out though, Shell.
I know. I'm just saying, I didn't give you the end of it. You had to go watch the
on
video.
The internet.
You had to watch the video.
So how did you go about self-publishing?
Oh my gosh. Woo! Self-publishing. It is, you better love what you do, because self-publishing can be a tedious task. Okay. But I got through it. And I must say, I also had a self-publishing mentor that walked me through a lot of the stuff. Like when I got stuck on something, she kind of helped me out. Her name is Sandra People. She helped me out a lot. But so I created a publishing company. My publishing company is called Sagacious Publishing. And so sagacious means wisdom. as well as Sophia means wisdom. And so I wanted an ongoing theme. And so that's why I named the publishing company Sagacious Publishing. But I didn't even think about trying to get signed to a publishing house. It never really crossed my mind. I just feel like we're kind of past the era of trying to get signed to anybody.
Yes, well, and you own your rights to your own book when you self-publish. You get all the money yourself versus having to pay them.
Listen, Master P showed them a long time ago. Pop the trunk and get your money.
Pop that trunk.
Yeah.
Books for sale. CDs for sale.
I'm just saying.
Shirts for sale.
I'm just saying.
I got these bean pies for sale.
Right,
exactly. So,
hey, Michelle.
So all of us, I'm sorry, Eve, all of us have a story to tell. And it sounds like once you started writing it down, it just, the pen just began to move. Your mental, your spirit just began to move. So how do you suggest that the rest of us do this? Because we all have a story to write down and that we want to share with others.
Well, of course, my process may not be the next person's process. So for me, one, I just definitely have to have peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Yes, I have to have peace and quiet. Well, I'm just like that anyway, but peace and quiet so the other people can come in. I always call them the people. I'll be like, the people. I'll be like, the people told me. Yeah. Yeah, the people said, yeah, I got to give room for the people to speak.
Okay.
And so, yes, peace, quiet, a computer, and just, yeah.
And just the will and the drive to do it. The will and drive to do it.
Yeah, I'm never short. God blessed me so much. I'm never short on ideas and concepts. And as a matter of fact, when I'm running around doing what I do, the people are mad at me because they're like, "Can you go sit down somewhere? Because we want to tell you something." You know? Yeah. So now some people's process may be different because some people say, "Well, shouldn't I write an index and shouldn't I write out, you know, this and that?" Well, if that'll make you feel better or more organized, then do that. Yeah, then do that. I can't really say what's right and what's wrong. I just know what works for me.
For you. Yep.
Yeah. I just, as the people speak, I write. I listen and I write.
So
I listen and I write.
And we're not gonna let you off the hook because you know everyone kind of glossed over the fact that you said, you know, you did some touring and some singing and all of that stuff. Yeah, we're gonna let you off the hook on the touring and the singing because that's how we were introduced in terms, you know, for 90.7 FM doing music. I know you done some things. The holiday season is coming up. Everybody, you know, rushing through it or whatever. And the holiday season is coming up. I got a Christmas song from you. Definitely want to make sure if you are looking for what we sound like at Christmas, an amazing Christmas song. And she has some other projects as well, but you know, I have two. This is a two-part question. Yeah, this is a two-part question. So my first part of the question is, as a singer, who are in your top 5?
Ooh. Ooh. My top 5.
No particular order. No particular order.
Wait, and would that be on the vocal side or entertainers? No
particular order.
You get to pick.
When you hear top 5, who come to your mind?
Okay, top 5, I would say Luther.
Yes.
Donnie.
Yes.
Lettucey.
Ooh, she is good.
Yeah, Luther, Donnie, Lettucey. Oh wow, Stevie.
Yes, definitely.
So Luther, Donnie, Stevie, Jill, and Lettucey.
Yes, I love some Jill.
Hey, that's a solid top 5. I ain't gonna say nothing about that. That's a very, very solid top 5. So I told you it's a 2-part question. So we can't let you off the hook. You know, you're a vocalist, so we can't let you off the hook. We at least have to hear some of those vocals. I know.
What about the vote? What about the vote song?
I know how I get.
I'm sorry, what?
I know how I get. You see that? You see that thing that you
She
just
wasn't horse a minute ago, was she? When she was extra.
She was just sipping on something.
Right,
so
that's right. That's right.
We need some extra singing.
That's right.
Put something on the back of that throat real quick.
Let me drink some tea for her.
Wait a minute. Can I get some water, somebody? Some water.
Say,
Me. Feels good to have somebody hold you tight. Who said that was their favorite song?
One of mine. Oh my goodness, Phyllis Hyman.
Yes, you're a Phyllis fan.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Phyllis was the truth.
Yes,
queen.
Yes.
She didn't know she was a queen, but she was a queen.
Yes,
I
she was.
know.
Yep.
So many of us didn't know.
So another thing I want to make sure we do before we get off of this, because our time it rolls around here, is that I want to make sure, how can people get in touch with all the different things that you're doing? You're, like you said, you're juggling a lot of different things. So how can people get in touch with you and support any and everything that you're doing?
And Lamar, when she finishes answering that, Michelle is big on health, and you're absolutely a stunning, beautiful woman who does so many things. How do you find your balance health-wise? Because you're just beautiful, and you can tell that you really take care of yourself. So any tips to the people listening?
Oh God, thank you. Well, of course, that's an ongoing process. That's a daily process.
Yes.
Yeah, it's daily, because at any given time of the day, you could slip and find yourself just scarfing down Cheetos. Yeah. I mean, really, especially when you're busy and you're running around. So, please. As far as balance, I'm better at working out when it's warm outside. I try to ride my bike, but I'm a sea moss taker.
Oh yeah,
I love sea moss.
I got it upstairs.
Me too.
Yes. I take sea moss twice a day. Please, I try to drink enough water. I don't eat meat.
Okay.
Yeah, I do sea moss and I do sea moss. I do bladder rack. I do that. I do stop. No. I mean, I have before, but I'm not consistent with it. Okay. But yeah, and thankfully, I'm really good friends with a person that ran Dr. Sebi's office.
That's what I was gonna say. That's where I learned about that stuff from, was Dr. Sebi.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm blessed to have some really good friends. And I like to say this: circle matters. If you take nothing away from anything I've said, your circle matters. And I have I always say my circle is small but mighty. Yeah. The people that are around me, we got each other's backs.
That's right.
And so we try to stay positive in mind. Like, I have everybody that's around me, make sure you watch The Secret. I'll send them The Secret or tell them to watch The Secret. So, everybody has watched The Secret. So if anybody in the circle falls down or starts feeling depressed or negative, that means somebody is going to pull you back up, because we all pretty much prescribe to the same positive mindset. That circle really does matter.
Michelle and I talked about that just yesterday, the importance of making sure that you keep your circle small, but two, you make sure that it's people who uplift you, because just like they can uplift you, your circle can tear you down and pull you away from your destiny too.
That's right.
So how can we stay in touch with you though? We got to make sure we get that out there.
Definitely. So my social media pages, you can go to IG at Sophia Inspires Me. That's my Instagram, and also my Twitter is Sophia Inspires Me, and my Facebook page is Sophia Janell Taylor. And let's see, Facebook, IG, and Twitter. That's pretty much it. I'm not TikToking and all that yet.
No. Okay. Hold on, I forgot. There's one thing that Sophia didn't tell y'all though. She's Grammy nominated too. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I am. So wait a minute. Thank you, Lamar. Thank you. Okay, so you guys, again, so I told you guys, what's really crazy about my circle is, ironically, everybody's gifted. And so Flint, Michigan, when they say it's something in the water, you darn right. Something's in the water. There's so many gifted people in this city. It's crazy. So a good friend of mine, like brother, his name is Ninja. His real name is Wilfred Freelix, but they call him Ninja. Wilfred Ninja Freelix. He has the bomb jazz album out. I'm not just saying it because I'm a part of it either. But so I'm featured on the song Unity, which he redone Queen Latifah's UNITY. So we redone that. It's the bomb. That one is nominated for a Grammy right now. I'm so grateful to be a part of it. It's the bomb. And I done this song on there called With You, which is like so wonderful. You guys got to get that project. And I'm also on a good friend of mine's project named Terrence T. Hurd. He's a jazz musician as well. His project is off the chain, but I'm just grateful. Thank you for reminding me about that.
Oh yeah. I just thought about that. I want these people to understand, like, she is definitely walking within her gifts, and with her walking into her and within her gifts, things are just happening. That's how they're supposed to happen. I definitely want to mention,
I forgot to mention that last book that I done called Keeping It Real Estate.
I love it. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
we keep
that's
it
a
real
show.
estate.
I want to say, I can appreciate that even during the times that we're living in with COVID and all that good stuff, the Bible says there's nothing new under the sun, but it's nice to see that no matter what, we can still go out and reach for our highest potential. And it's within us, it's within each and every one of us. So, hats off to you, no pun intended. Hats off to you though, my queen.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I feel like in times like these, when people aren't working and you're at home, this is the time to pull your gifts out. All the things that you've been wanting to do, since you can't punch a clock. And that clock that you've been punching, you probably hated it anyway. Go ahead and dig deep and figure out what it is you really want to do. Figure out that passion, Everybody's got something that they genuinely love to do. We just have to figure it out and move forward on it.
And I want to let you know that, we haven't forgotten about, the water crisis and all the different things that happen in Flint. I know elections are coming up and all of that stuff. So people remember, we don't forget, since we don't forget, we're making sure those people who are in those positions won't be.
The people that live here, we can't forget it because we're still going through it. I'm still buying bottled water. Yeah. I'm not cooking with the water. Can't get the dog still gonna kick it over, But here's what's funny. The city is being gentrified as we speak. Every morning I wake up, all I hear is beep, beep, beep. That's the sound of construction.
Wow. Well, I definitely want to thank you. Thank you for coming on our platform. We really appreciate it. Go ahead.
Thank you all for having me. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. And I was just going to say, just go back to what you said. Right now, when things are down, that means houses aren't selling either. So if you have it to go invest, look Sophia's book up and go do it. Now is the time.
Yes, definitely.
All right, y'all know what time it is. We want you to like, subscribe, and share. Think about it, Black people. These are my people, man. This is what we do. We're trying to get this information out. So think about it, Black people. We out.
Thank you all. Have a wonderful week. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
All
right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ready, production.